Well, let us begin this session. I was thinking to do this before my part of the talk, but then I thought, let's do it as the beginning of the session. So before we begin, I'll ask all of us to share a moment of silence. If you feel inclined, gently close your eyes. Connect with your inner master, higher self. Visualize a web of connection, heart to heart, uniting us beyond distances and the so-called differences. Together, in awareness, let us cultivate gratitude for this shared space, this moment, and the common purpose that unites us today and in this convention here at the home of the masters. Let's just stay like this for a moment. Whenever you feel, open your eyes and let's begin this enriching session of the convention, this one dedicated to the mini talks. And it is my honor and privilege to share the stage with the three dear friends and fellow Theosophists. Today, we will explore a range of topics, each as inspiring and profound as the individuals presenting them. Hope, small steps matter, inner unfoldment and theosophical life, and the art of self-mastery. To begin, it is my joy to introduce my dear Ototo-san, how I call him in Japanese, in a joyful way, or my dear brother Vighnesh, who will share his insights on the subjects of hope. Vighnesh is a member of the Theosophical Society since 2021 and lives and works in the Adyar campus. He has a background in finance, audit, and writing. In the TS, he works with the International Treasurer. He works as the acting treasurer of Olcott Education Society and also as the coordinator of the Adyar Eco-Development Project. That is a long-term initiative in the space of ecological restoration, environmental education, and community wellness. Vighnesh is usually found zipping around the campus or buried in a spreadsheet. He personally prefers being buried in a book. It is said that he does not smile enough, but those are fake news, totally fake news. Precious things are sought and not merely received. He is currently a board member of the World Federation of Young Theosophists. Please welcome Vighnesh.
Good afternoon and a happy new year to everyone present. I'd say for those visiting, there's no better way to begin the new year than bathing in the quiet subtle magic of this place. Now, I have the privilege of living here, being here every day, breathing the tranquil, quietly charged air, walking the paths that snake and wind their way through the forests and woods, all brimming with an energy that is both serene and coiled with a fathomless potential. My time here has been, it has traced some difficult moments in life, kind of finding my path, but it has also been one of slow healing. Perhaps it's this cocoon of a forest and its limitless wonders. Perhaps it's the unassuming kindness of the community we have here. And also, I've been realizing more and more through the years, it's the glue of theosophy itself that pervades this space, and it's amber-like preserve that keeps something this special alive, and in spite of the churning beyond its walls. So it's hopefulness, in short. Maybe not one that blooms out or bursts in a like a firework or a burst of color, but one that slowly seeps into you, heals you, and like a slow warm bath after a tired day. Here in the TS, we deal in hope. It may be latent, it may be needs a little push, a little nurturing every now and then, but it is very much there. Our very first object is steeped in it, if you think about it. In this world, to hope and strive for a universal brotherhood with a history, a costly history of perpetual warfare, conflict, to hope for universal brotherhood in spite of that is hope. I mean, it's incredible to keep on that, to keep that objective alive. But even if you cannot summon that kind of faith in your fellow people, we have plenty of literature in Theosophy. Theosophy itself teaches us self-reflection and to find hope in self-reflection. We have a book, Light on the Path by Mabel Collins, that will tell you that you yourself are enough to begin with, that within you is the light of the world. And you will find something in yourself, and once you find that light, you will also find something to do with your life that is of value to the world and to others. I've met so many people outside this place, non-theosophists, who struggle to understand what we do here, what is theosophy, what do we get up to in this campus. They have no inkling. I mean, I don't blame them. Maybe we can do a better job of communicating, our activities, our outreach. But the sheer scope and range of work that you can do, that you can immerse yourself in this campus itself, say from cataloging and the upkeep of the precious, invaluable collection of books and manuscripts in the library, the archives, the treasured artifacts in the museum, to the incredibly compassionate work that we do in our animal dispensary. We have 2 schools on campus, teaching and taking on the responsibility of shaping the lives of coming generations in the image of wisdom and diligence that Theosophy teaches. That is a monumental task, especially when it comes to something like Alcott School, the hopefulness of showing a path to kids who may not realize that a path even exists. Not much can top that in terms of hopefulness, I would say. And then, of course, we have this amazing forest garden around us, to preserve it and to shape it in a conscious way that unleashes its magic to inspire and nurture others. That's the next big undertaking of hope we are about to embark on. We have already embarked on it. You've seen snippets of it in the past few days. But the point is, nothing can happen without cultivating a burning curiosity and an approach of conscious inquiry. There is no hope without the flame of curiosity about the people around you, about you yourself, and about the ecology within and without. We have recently started on a path together with an interesting community that revolves around the dreams and madness of this relentless, almost, I would say, tiresomely tireless Australian gardener, Joss Brooks. You might have seen him zipping around the campus. You might have met him yesterday in yesterday's workshop. The Adyar Eco Development Project is a collaborative labor of love and hope with Joss and his team to inspire and encourage communities to see that there is a consciousness in nature, there is a consciousness in ecology, and that it's deeply and inextricably entwined with our lives. Entwined with our lives and that of our children and of generations to come. To work with nature and not in spite of it is something that we are hoping to communicate. We are hoping to teach communities to plan our towns, our cities, our communities, our lives in harmony with the ecology around us. To remember that we are tenants in Mother Nature's garden, and to run amok like we do is not without consequences. Our survival depends on this understanding and realization in the unity of all life. It's a direct application of one of the strands of the mission of the Theosophical Society, the cultivation of an ever-deepening understanding and realization of the unity of all life, the cultivation of hope through ecology and art. It's been quite something working with Joss and his team. Their energy is bottomless, it's pervasive, and you have to keep up. You have to keep up with Joss, you have to keep up with his gardeners, and you have to keep up with everyone in between. It's a challenge, but it's something you have to do, something necessary to transform yourself and elevate yourself to a higher purpose. They demonstrate and live hopefulness in a way that is refreshingly edifying. There are also so many others on this campus whose energy and drive are enviable. Two of them are sitting right here, Catalina and Merike. We have Shravan, who heads BMAD. Him and his team spend an incredible amount of energy in running the Besant Memorial Animal Dispensary, dealing with hundreds of cases every day, from cats and dogs to wildlife. You wouldn't believe the kind of horrors they witness every day, and to have the compassion to summon the will to do that every day, go back home, sleep, come the next day and the next day. It can only come from a deep wellspring of hope that they can save lives and change lives. We have the team in the Alcott School, Sashikala ma'am and her teachers. They spend every day going above and beyond to try and transform the lives of these children who come from some unimaginable conditions. And to give hope to these kids is something that is truly inspiring. And of course, I have my friends in the World Federation of Young Theosophists. I've been working with them closely, especially for the past few months. The way they pool together, whether it's to overcome challenges in organizing gatherings or events, or to execute some of the amazing projects they've come up with, study groups, or cleaning up the garbage on the river path, or collecting money for charity. It's like a microcosm of the collective hope in humanity. And of course, we have my immediate bosses, Nancy, Maria, Mr. Jaikumar. If I were in their shoes, I would probably have retired, long ago to the countryside, but somehow they find the will to come here, work every day, deal with the incredible complexities of running this place, and also balance that with imparting the wisdom of Theosophy. It's a testament to their selflessness and a sincerity to the collective cause. And the enabler of all this energy and carefully venturesome approach to shaping the society's future is, of course, Mr. President Tim. I am incredibly hopeful and glad of the approach that he's taken, and his approach of encouraging curiosity and new ideas. And I really hope it sets the tone for his office for years to come. It's really refreshing and also essential to grow healthily as a community. So there is hope aplenty. If you look around yourself, if you look within yourself, if you seek it out, within you and without you, you will find the light. Whether it's Joss or Merike with her river cleanup project, or Shravan and his team, all these people are precious, but their energy and spirit is not unique, right? Thankfully, there are many, many people like them around you, even where you come from in your communities. And of course, we have to seek them out. We have to seek out the path that they take and try to emulate it, learn from it, or at least give it a good go. Even that is enough for hope to sustain. Within you is the light of the world, and without you are people to help shine that light outward towards hope. Thank you. I will also introduce the next speaker, Merike Martsepp from Estonia. She was born in Estonia and is a physicist by training. She embarked on her Theosophical journey in late 2007, eventually joining the Finnish section's Tallinn Lodge in 2015. Her academic background includes research in solar cell technology, plasma fusion, multifractal analysis, and fluoride ion battery composition. Heavy stuff. A significant turning point in her Theosophical path was at the 2022 gathering of the WFYT in Narden. This experience inspired her to volunteer in Adyar, where she currently resides, and contributes in many, many ways, whether it's the School of the Wisdom Working Group. She also teaches science exploration classes to the kids in Alcott School. And she's been working with the Eco-Development Project with me, trying to promote sustainability and environmental consciousness within the campus and the surrounding communities. Over the past few years, she's also actively participated in the Partners in Theosophy program and engaged in numerous online study groups and projects of the WFYT. She's also a re-elected board member of the WFYT, I should mention. And with that, I invite Merike to come and speak with us. Thank you.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. So, let me ask you, have you ever walked by something that bothers you at your heart? A pile of litter or a stray animal in need. And in that moment, did you hear a voice or a quiet whisper that says, someone should do something about it? What if that voice wasn't an accusation or a command, but an invitation to step into your own power? Today, I want to share a simple, profound truth. Small steps matter, especially in a concept of transformation. They create visible change in the world, but because they awaken something within us, a deeper connection to life, to others, and to the divine potential within us. Helena Petrovna Blavatsky wrote in the Key to Theosophy and reminded us that spirituality and theosophy is not about beautiful thoughts and prayers. It's about aligning those thoughts with action. It's about living an expression of this transformation we wish to see. So, when you notice something calling for a change, a messy environment, an act of injustice, or even a small imbalance in your own life, pause and ask yourself, what is the one step I can take right now? What is the one action that aligns me with the harmony I wish to see in the world? It's easy to feel overwhelmed with enormity of that needs to be healing and repaired in the world. But remember the wisdom of Martin Luther King Jr., who said, faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the whole staircase. The beauty of transformation is that you don't need to see the end of the journey. You simply need to have courage to begin, trusting that the way will unfold. Or as one of my favorite sayings goes, start knitting and the God will give you yarn. The universe responds to action. It meets us in our efforts and multiplies them in ways we cannot foresee. Let me share a story. So, a few months ago, I started having walks that was recommended by a doctor, and I had this wonderful opportunity to walk around Adyar campus, a place of extraordinary beauty and peace. And I noticed that riverbank had become cluttered of debris after some floods in a rainy season. We have great workers here who keep the campus clean, but the riverside here are a little bit more wild, and cleaning it up is a more difficult job, because if the river brings those plastic gifts to every day in a large quantities, then it might take a bit time. For me, it felt wrong, almost as if the land itself was crying out. And yet, every time I passed it, I thought, someone should clean it up. Until one day it hit me. Why not me? And then I started small. Just me and a biodegradable bag. A few quiet minutes picking up a litter during the evening walks. It wasn't glamorous, and yes, it was quite awkward at the beginning. But something incredible started happening. First of all, the places got more clean, and some people noticed, and they give some encourage. And then they asked some questions, and some of them joined me. And what began as a solitary act of care grew into a community of cleanup effort. So in one October morning, there was almost 100 people cleaning up here voluntarily. Together, we began to transform the riverbank. Not into perfection. This is I don't want to say ever-going process, but into a place that reflected hope. Hope for a cleaner future, effort made towards that goal, and a collective love towards nature. And here's the magic. The act of cleaning the riverbank also cleans something within me. By cleaning our surroundings on a physical level in nature, it helps us to calm down and tidy our surroundings also in mental and emotional level. I don't know if I think it's not quite the same if you're cleaning your room. I think being in nature plays a certain role in the peace and clarity that comes after. But I always feel better after I had this precious opportunity to do something for the nature. So I jokingly start calling those activities cleaning meditations. And there is also a profound karmic dimension to this act of cleaning up. So while it is undeniably more pleasant and simply enjoy the beauty of the nature than to comfort a pile of garbage, we must remember that much of this plastic is for our own making, our own as a humanity. And if I'm thinking, if I enjoy in a beautiful park, I'm kind of using up my good karma that have allowed me to be there. But if I'm cleaning up a place, I'm creating a new seeds. So in the future, I could be in a beautiful place and others could be in a beautiful place. And we all could get inspiration for there. So if the nature in its wisdom brought it back to our attention, then by taking responsibility and cleaning it up, we create karmic seeds for a cleaner and more harmonious future. I should be really thankful that I have this possibility here. Many of those who joined me of these cleanup meditations shared the surprise at the sheer amount of plastic we use in our everyday life. Some even remark that this experience will stay with them when they shop and perhaps inspire them to make more mindful choices in the future. Also, the daily cleaning meditation brought unexpected gifts to me. I met some new friends. I got better physical fitness because actually cleaning up is quite a workout. And most of all, a profound sense of interconnectedness with the nature. This is the power of small steps. They are not just acts of change. They are acts of awakening into something deeper. They remind us that we are not separate from the world we wish to heal and repair. We are co-creators. Each step we take ripples outwards in a way we may never fully see in during this one lifetime. So I leave you with this. What small step is calling to you right now? It doesn't have to be perfect or grand. It can be as simple as a smile or a kind word or a moment of attention to something or someone who is in need. Moment that might grow something bigger. Because each step we take, no matter how small, it is a thread in a great carpet of transformation. And when we begin, we are not just changing ourselves, we are changing the world. Thank you. And if you feel the call to take small steps already, you are kindly invited to join me tomorrow morning, 6 to 7, at the front of the LBC, where we are going to have this practice of cleaning meditation by Radar Purnier Path. We will provide some gloves and bags, and together we will not only care for the earth, but also nurture our spirits. The world needs our light. Let's shine it, one small step at a time. Thank you. And now I have the honor to introduce next speaker, Svyatoslav Lipsky from Russia. Svyatoslav has been born in 1982. He has graduated university in 2006 with a degree teaching languages and has been working in different schools in Moscow and teaching English language. And also he defended his PhD thesis in pedagogy. And he's been studying Theosophical literature since 1999 and attended his first TS meeting in 2009. And 2012, he started working and creating a website, Theosophist for Russians, and it is devoted to Blavatsky's life works and many other valuable texts that is translated to Russian. He's deeply interested in the works of Blavatsky, Mahatma letters, and also Buddhist philosophy and meditation practices. He enjoys art, especially drawings, portraits. He's really good at it, I can say. And listening music in his spare time. He has been member of the Theosophical Society since 2019, a speaker in different conferences, and currently he's a president in White Lotus Lodge in Moscow. And since 2024, he's an organizer secretary of the Theosophical Society in Russia. So, warm welcome to the Svyatoslav.
Good afternoon, dear brothers and sisters. My topic is inner unfoldment and theosophical life. And I would like to start by saying that it seems that every effort that the great hierarchy makes is aimed at helping the evolutionary development of the human being. And our Theosophical Convention also follows the same great principle and offers us a chance to reflect carefully on how practical theosophy can lead to our self-transformation. What is self-transformation and how can we accomplish it? It seems that generally speaking, we have to, with the means of our personality, transform this very our personality. And this demonstrates to us that this personality that we have is not uniform. It has aspects with different properties which move in different directions. And so there are factors and forces in us that are in conflict with each other. Like a leaf on the branch of a tree, our personality is a temporary formation produced by our true immortal self. And from there, from the true source of our being, comes everything that is good in us, everything that makes us evolve. Those elements incarnate in our mind as high aspirations, insights, voice of conscience, and so on. And as everything is dual, so in us there are elements that are opposite to that. Why is it so? The human being is a meeting place of matter and spirit. The human being is a phenomenon in which Purusha and Prakriti meet and achieve a certain unique equilibrium that allows such a thing as free will to manifest itself. These two poles of the one element, Purusha and Prakriti, create a dual attraction, so to say, the gravity up and the gravity down. And the dividing line of this attraction runs across the human mind, our middle principle. Animals, not having reached this period in their evolution do not experience this conflict. Those who have already successfully passed through the human stage of evolution do not have this conflict either. We, as human beings, are passing through it now. And from this comes the entire drama of the human struggle. The evolution is a struggle of obtaining full self-awareness through experience. I would like to suggest an allegory of climbing a mountain that can illustrate this. There are three groups of people. The first group are the people who are standing in front of the rock and have not started the climb. Their view is limited. They see the bottom of the rock. They are at peace and in comfort and are watching the second group, those who are already climbing the rock. And those people in the second group apply various degrees of effort. Sometimes they succeed, sometimes not. And they are not in peace or in comfort. They are having an intense evolutionary experience. And their view is limited also. They see the face of the rock, their immediate circumstances, and the patch of the sky barely visible high above that keeps them going. Finally, there is the third group, the people who have already climbed to the top and are standing on the plateau. They too are at peace, but having already experienced all this progress and having achieved its result, they are able to observe the entire panorama of this activity with all its three stages, and they understand its full meaning and also enjoy the great view. From the peace of ignorance at the bottom of the mountain, we need to pass to the peace of perfect understanding and knowledge on the top of the mountain. And this path leads through effort and struggle of climbing. To complete this metaphor, I would suggest that the steepness of the cliff and the speed of the ascent depend fully on the degree of aspiration of the climber. Our very aspiration determines the intensity of our experience and the speed with which we pass through the lessons of evolution. On this path, only our own actions and choices determine our progress. A human being is like a seed that a great gardener throws into the soil. Not all seeds sprout. We are such seeds. As below, so above. As in small things, so in great things. At the level of human evolution, there are successful and unsuccessful cases in nature. The options, fundamentally speaking, are two. Either Purusha transmutes and elevates Prakriti, or the matter draws in and dissolves spirit. In this seems to be the essence of the entire content of our experience as human beings. In this is the riddle of the Sphinx that we are faced with as we inwardly unfold. Belonging to the first group, those standing in front of the face of the rock, we are focused on living a more material life. The evolutionary conflict in us is inactive. As our experience accumulates and the emanations that come from our true self manifest themselves more and more in our personality, the vision of the spiritual path starts to appear and gradually becomes more and more appealing to us. Maybe we can say that the solution of our personality gets activated. The time comes to enter the second group, the one of the climbers. Then our inner conflict begins to move into the active phase, and the walking on the spiritual path begins. As this conflict grows, all moral questions become more acute and intense. The well-known difference between want to do and should do becomes more and more pronounced. Dilemmas arise where one part of us wants to do one thing and another part of us wants to do another. the moments of choice between what is right from the point of view of spiritual unfoldment and what is desirable for our material consciousness becomes heated. We could say maybe that Purusha and Prakriti are struggling within us. Their interaction is the content of the human experience. It manifests itself in every choice that we make. At some point, the time of the decisive choice approaches. Then these two centers of force in the human personality begin to become incompatible. And we pass from the stage of ever increasing moral dilemmas and life choices to the stage that the voice of the silence describes as, quote, a fierce battle between the living and the dead, end quote, between the mortal and the immortal in us, into which battle no one can be called, but no one can be prevented from entering, and which will not end until one of the parties has disappeared, having been transformed completely. And this battle can last more than just one incarnation. If this stream of our personalities successfully answers the riddle of the Sphinx, it means that the seed of the human being has sprouted and grown. It becomes a fully unfolded flower, thus reaching the state of adeptship and attaining conscious immortality. In this sense, the goal of practical theosophy is not different from the goals of all other practical philosophies, spiritual or religious traditions. However, there is an essential aspect of theosophical life that theosophy places a great emphasis on, and that is altruism that comes from the recognition of oneness. Since we are all a part of one whole, it is clear that a good action for our spiritual development will always be the one which aims at the good of all. If we think, speak, or act in this way, we allow the whole universe to act through us. Life based on such actions is a theosophical life, and it leads to our reunion with the true self in us. And this means ultimately the reunion with the universal whole, because our true essence and the universal unity are not two different things. Such life based on altruistic choices and motivations is a theosophical life for me, and it leads to successful inner unfoldment as much as we manage to follow it. In this way, we transmute our personality in the process of alchemy, which takes place in the crucible of human microcosm on the fire of our life experience, fueled in proportion to our aspiration for the spiritual life. As our subtle bodies get transformed and refined in this process, the light of our true self penetrates them more fully. The glass of the lamp becomes clearer, and inner light shines brighter, getting the opportunity to manifest the experience accumulated by our true self in our previous incarnations. These are some of the ideas and insights that I wanted to share with you today. I thank you for your very precious gift of time and attention. Thank you. And now I have the honor and pleasure to introduce the next speaker, a committed and enthusiastic worker for the Theosophical cause, a person I'm very happy to know and consider my dear friend, Catalina Isaza-Cantor from TS in Colombia, resident in Adyar. Born in Colombia, she has always considered herself a citizen of the world, which inspired her travels, engagement with diverse cultures, languages, and ways of thinking. Currently residing at the Theosophical Society headquarters in Adyar, She joined TS in 2006, influenced by her parents, with whom she shared the study of the Bhagavad Gita and the sacred doctrine. For her, joining TS felt like finding her way back home. An author, poet, translator, and editor, she holds an honors degree in literature, a postgraduate diploma in cultural management, and a master's degree in education. Within TS, she had served as a board member of TS Colombia, coordinator of the Round Table, organizer of young theosophist groups in English and Spanish, as well as a part of the first board of the revived World Federation of Young Theosophists from 2022 to 2024, and lifelong volunteer. At TS Adyar, she is the secretary of the School of the Wisdom and supports international conventions and social media. Editor of Selección Theosophica, Colombian magazine, and lecturer on practical theosophy, literature, poetry, art, education, comparative religions, nationally and internationally. In 2020, she co-founded the YouTube channel Pragya Studio with her husband to share theosophy across languages. She believes deeply in the transformative power of small acts of love and service. And the title of her talk is The Art of Self-Mastery. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Svyat, for your introduction. And I'm really thankful and full of joy of listening to my 3 dear siblings on a stage, and to be here with all dear siblings joining in person and online. As Svyatoslav said, the subject today is the art of self-mastery. When we think of self-mastery, we may imagine a martial arts master, calm, focused, in control, or maybe, I don't know, someone who carefully plans and steers their life with confidence. And while both are accurate, the art of self-mastery, seen through the lens of practical theosophy and soul transformation, goes surely deeper than this. Let us examine together the meaning of the words. Mastering has to do with embodying the pursuit of exceptional skill or proficiency, like when we say mastering a language, an art, any other activity or discipline. Art is also related to a skill born of learning or practice, and it is related to creations imbued with aesthetic grace and profound merit. The art of self-mastery can be envisioned as the refined skill of guiding one's inner world with beauty and purpose. Self-mastery is deeply personal, marked by the prefix self, which underscores the internal nature of the journey. At the same time, it is inherently relational. It is the harmonious alignment of one's actions and intentions with the timeless principles of life, leading us from the self with small letters into the self with capitals. Mastery makes me also think on the masters of wisdom, who exemplify this ideal while guiding humanity toward higher consciousness. And of course, in the path of soul transformation, the ultimate master is the master within, the sacred center of our being, connected with the sacred source, all pervading. Self-mastery requires action, both inward and outward. As N. Sri Ram said, all that is truly beautiful in life must be found within ourselves. By harmonizing our inner world, we align with the sacred and contribute to the transformation of the outer world. Let us remember that no one can swim unless one enters deep waters. HPB will say in her secret doctrine that the universe is worked and guided from within outward. Every external action, movement, or gesture, whether voluntary, mechanical, physical, or mental, is initiated and preceded by an internal process involving feeling or emotion, will or intention, and thought or mind. So, true spiritual growth requires aligning thoughts, emotions, and actions with higher principles, reflecting inner work in outward action, thanks to which we humans participate as co-creators alongside devas, masters, and all invisible helpers. While these beings effectively work on subtle planes, our role as humans is to act in the physical and mental worlds, planting seeds of wisdom and harmony as a natural consequence of the cultivation of our inner world through study, meditation, selfless service, and conscious action and practice. Self-mastery is both an ideal and a way of being, rooted in compassion, patience, and love, without which there is no transformation at all, as Krishnamurti will say. It embraces vulnerability and the courage to confront weaknesses and face our true selves. I personally have found that a strong source of this courage and understanding comes from silent introspection and solitude, which provide the space to hear the inner voice of spiritual intuition or buddhi, guiding beyond the reasoning mind. In her collected writings, HPB highlights the heart as the seat of the spiritual consciousness, where Atma Buddhi Manas resides. She emphasizes the heart's center's role as a bridge to the higher self, uniting divine intelligence and love with the mind. To be pure in heart is essential for discerning truth from illusion and realizing the Buddha within, the inner master. Practicing virtues such as compassion, selflessness, or the practice of the paramitas, meditation, and so on, purifies us, allowing divine intuition to manifest. This journey demands consistent, mindful observation of both inner and outer worlds, leading to a life free from contradiction and to the cultivation of viveka and the practical application of intuitive wisdom. As Krishnamurti suggests, true observation demands freedom from prejudice, judgment, and the conditioning that distorts our perception. By examining our thoughts, emotions, and actions without bias, we can begin to see things as they truly are, beyond the fragments of ego and identity. And this openness allows us to acknowledge and honor all aspects of ourselves, promoting genuine transformation. A tool that can help in this journey of observing without prejudice and far from conditioning can be to keep a journal, to record thoughts and feelings in real time as they come, rather than retrospectively. That is the usual practice when we write a journal, we do it on retrospection. But this is a suggestion to keep it like an exercise of registering thoughts in real time. It offers a mirror to self-reflection. And when we take a time at the end of the day or of the week to review these entries, that helps us uncover deeper layers of the mind and slowly to see the things and see ourselves each time more without judgment and as we are. The art of self-mastery. And complementing this practice of the journal, we can work on engaging in daily disciplines, balance with rest and self-care to sustain focus and resilience. Life becomes sacred through small actions, imbued with conscious intent, transforming routines into offerings to the higher self, amplifying the sacred within and contributing to humanity's collective growth. The art of self-mastery is an ongoing journey of realizing our potential to align and contribute with the divine plan. HPB emphasizes focusing on the inner master within the heart and embodying selfless service inspired by the Bodhisattva ideal. As the voice of the silence teaches, liberation comes not from renouncing duties, but from fulfilling our dharma. By treating each moment, relationship, and action as sacred, we bridge the gap between the mundane and the divine, making self-mastery the very act and the very art of living. Let us remember, we are not our desires, but the divine will. Not our thoughts, but divine wisdom. Not our emotions, but divine love. And as such, we are artists of self-mastering and world transformation. Thank you. And well, we begin where we end, where we begin, actually. And it's like this Hermetic maxim says, no? The end is equal to the beginning plus the experience of the cycle. So here we are at the end of this small cycle among the big cycle that is the convention, among the big cycle that is this beautiful life and opportunity to transform ourselves on every step that we give. I like to thank again my fellow speakers and each one of you for giving us the present of your attentive listening, your time, and just connecting here and being here and now. Thank you very much, and have a great rest of the day.